Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. KZOOMers!
Hey!
Have you no shame? That's the question of
for this week.
For this week, the question: have you no shame?
No, I don't.
Well, maybe.
Well, maybe.
No,
Yeah.
maybe.
My big
So-
self, my little self does.
So, the releasing of shame is kind of like the releasing of the past, because there's a way that when we carry the past in us, it kind of, it has a quality of shame in it, because we just weren't as evolved as we are now. You know, it's like when we look back at our past selves and think, "Oi."
I'm glad he made it. My goodness. It was rough.
So, but in order to step into this present moment and do the practice of tshuva, of returning to who we really are, there is this kind of a work of releasing that shame, or the places of the past that we carry with us, and we're kind of dreaming ourselves into a different state, this shameless place. And the shameless place, and the practice that is inspiring us this week is the beginning of the 8th chapter of the Song of Songs, the final chapter of the Song of Songs. And what did without entirely releasing the past? Well, you know what? We want to release the weight of the past, let's say, and let the past, shape us, teach us, guide us, send us. So these words at the beginning of the 8th chapter has a kind of a dream that said that wonders, like, oh, what would it be like to be completely without shame and to be able to kiss you out in the street?
Out in the streets, yes.
And so when I think about this kiss, it's of, to be able to fall in love with life itself. And falling in love with life doesn't mean I like it all the time. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't like it. But the falling in love is a kind of a commitment and an interpenetration of the divine and this place of this incarnation here. And so I say, oh, I'm going to dream. What would it be like to be able to be kissing life and having that life reality, God, the mystery, kissing me, not just in the secret places, but right out in the open, right? That's the kind of test of my spiritual practice. I might have these, wonderful moments sort of alone deep inside me, but can I bring it to the street? That's really the question. And this is street love that we're talking about. And
love in the streets.
yes. So and for me, it's, sort of like shedding these layers of self-consciousness. And I don't know what it's really going to look like, but I know sort of the places in me that are kind of folded in on themselves, that need to unfold. And it really, for me, the measure of my spiritual practice has to do with aliveness. There's a teaching by Richard Moss who says, to me, wholeness is the key to aliveness. It is more than just physical vitality, it is radiance, coming from being at one with yourself and your experience. Life then flows through you. Life then flows through you. But as I was contemplating this state that I'm aiming towards, that shameless love, what really came to me was wanting to cultivate radiance, that there is a light in me, in each of us, that we can shine forth, and that sometimes that light gets dimmed, and so somehow to come out of the shadows into the open and be able to shine the uniqueness that you are. That's the dream, really. So let's dream together as we chant these words. Often when I'm doing spiritual practice, I use my imagination to imagine, like, who would I be? And in the work of Byron Katie's work, one of the questions that she asks, when you have these thoughts that are kind of difficult, she just asks, well, who would you be without that thought? Mm-hmm. And then you use your imagination to say, oh,
that'd be a lot better.
So this is there's a way of kind of trying on a different way of being through the imagination. Emtza'acha vachutz esha'k'cha. Emtza'acha vachutz esha'k'cha. Gam lo yavuzu li. Gam lo yavuzu li. Emtza'acha vachutz esha'k'cha. Emtza'acha vachutz esha'k'cha. Gam lo yavuzu li. Gam lo yavuzu li. Emtza'acha vachutz esha'k'cha. Emtza'acha vachutz esha'k'cha. Gam lo yavuzu li. Gam lo yavuzu li. Emtza'acha vachutz esha'k'cha. Emtza'acha vachutz esha'k'cha. Gam lo yavuzu li. Gam lo yavuzu li. Emtza'acha vachutz esha'k'cha. Emtza'acha vachutz esha'k'cha. Gam lo yavuzu li. Gam lo yavuzu li. Emtza'acha vachutz esha'k'cha. Emtza'acha vachutz esha'k'cha. Gam lo yavuzu li. Gam lo yavuzu li. Open your mouth wide. Emtza'acha vachutz
esha'k'cha, Emtza'acha, vachutz, esha'k'cha, gam lo yavuzu li, gam lo yavuzu li, Emtza'acha, vachutz, esha'k'cha, Emtza'acha, vachutz, esha'k'cha, gam lo yavuzu li, gam lo yavuzu li, Emtza'acha, vachutz, esha'k'cha, Emtza'acha, vachutz, esha'k'cha, gam lo yavuzu li, gam lo yavuzu li, Emtza'acha, vachutz, esha'k'cha, Emtza'acha, vachutz, esha'k'cha, gam lo yavuzu li, gam lo yavuzu li, Emtza'acha, vachutz, esha'k'cha, Emtza'acha, vachutz, esha'k'cha, gam lo yavuzu li, gam lo yavuzu li, Emtza'acha, vachutz, esha'k'cha, Emtza'acha, vachutz, esha'k'cha, gam lo yavuzu li, gam lo yavuzu li, Emtza'acha, vachutz, esha'k'cha, Emtza'acha, vachutz, esha'k'cha, gam lo yavuzu li, gam lo yavuzu li.
One time more shamelessly.
Emtza'acha, vachutz, esha'k'cha, Emtza'acha, vachutz, esha'k'cha, gam lo yavuzu li, gam lo yavuzu li.
So close your eyes. Imagine that state of shamelessness, of radiance, of complete openness to the flow of life. Let that life flow through you as you come into being at one with yourself and your experience. And I like that Richard Mauss says it's not just about physical vitality, because sometimes we don't have that. But we can still have a radiance, that place from which we shine. And we're not always there. And and it's sort of like the moments when we touch it. We do the practice, of, I've called this spiritual photography. When I reach a certain state of that openness and flow, I take the spiritual photograph of that state. And then I can sort of hold that photograph up as inspiration, as possibility, and then notice what is it that gets in the way. And there's this teaching from Reb Nachman of Wroclaw that says, just as your hand held before the eye can hide the tallest mountain. So this small earthly life keeps us from seeing the vast radiance that fills the core of the universe. So just this little hand, can hide the tallest mountain. So there is, so he's talking about that radiance that fills the whole universe. But it feels to me as if if I want to experience that radiance in the universe, I need to find it in myself and notice in the moments that I get disconnected. And those moments are painful, and I want to bring my compassionate awareness to those moments of disconnection. There is this chant that I call it preparation for reconnecting, because it is this bringing awareness to those moments of disconnection, and which are painful, and we might want to just like space out or zone out during those moments. But instead, when we bring a kind of a compassionate witness to those moments, then we're kind of given the motivation, the incentive to open up to grace. And this idea of grace, I think, is the same thing that Richard Moss was talking about, of the flow of life through us. So we say, at those moments, or at that realization of disconnection, we say Chaneyni Yah. We open to that grace, and then we admit humbly that there is this disconnection inside me, and the word oomlal ani, it's translated as withered or faint or sick, and but the places in the what I learned about that word oomlal in places in different prophets that talk about oomlal, it's refers to the vine that has been cut, and that's what kind of during warfare people would cut the vines of their enemies, and then the crops would wither. And so I always look about of when do I get disconnected, and sometimes for me it's just like when I'm inside too long and I don't go outside and put my feet on the earth, or touch the wild. Sometimes I get disconnected just from looking at my computer screen too long, and there's something in me that withers. So from that place, we call out for grace, for the flow of life through us that will return us to this radiance that is in us. So let's see if we can just make this a kind of a plaintive kind of call of and I know that when I'm doing this for myself, I'm also doing it for the world that sometimes feels disconnected as well. And so I'm doing it on behalf also of the collective disconnection. Chaneyni Yah,
Chaneyni Yah, Kumah.
I invite you to bring that question into your heart. What is it that disconnects me? What are the patterns, the places in life, the habits that disconnect me from that flow or from my own radiance. And if an answer occurs to you, you can write it in the chat. Rushing about, fear, othering, pain, self-centeredness, judgment, trying to control things, expectations, fear of being judged, fear of rejection, limited vision, rushed morning, anxiety, stress, despair. I don't get my way when I'm not understood. Grief.
These are the withering things.
All the above this
All the
week.
above.
So they're old victim tapes. I don't feel accepted. Lack of kindness in the world. Yeah. So, I'm so happy that there are possibilities of reconnecting. You know, when we admit that, when we kind of come into that humility of like, oh, that place of disconnection. And Raphael, I'm so glad you made it today. Disrespect, he says, yeah. So there are these possibilities of reconnection through our spiritual practice. And I just wanted to bring this teaching from Ken Wilber that says, whenever we moderns, that's us, pause for a moment and enter the silence and listen very carefully, the glimmer of our deepest nature begins to shine forth. And we are introduced to the mysteries of the deep. The mysteries of the deep, the call of the within, the infinite radiance of a splendor that time and space forgot. So this is in that pause, in that entering deep into the silence and into that glimmer of our deepest nature, we find again the radiance, and it's not just our radiance, it's the mystery of the deep that is shining forth through us. So I want to call that forth in our practice, and this is a practice that I've been doing for many years, but originally I wrote this practice for the High Holy Days because it just felt like, oh, this is the work of the High Holy Days. I call it calling forth the hidden power. And it's sort of saying that this practice of tshuva that we're doing, of returning, is returning to who we really are, and that radiance in us got buried by our trauma, by our disappointments, by our kind of rigidified beliefs. And so we have to sort of dig underneath it all. And we call into the mystery of the depths inside us. We say, rise up, Yud Hey Vav Hey, rise up. Rise up and save me. Save me. I always put in kind of in parentheses, save me from my mishigas. It's like I have these kind of habitual patterns, which might be called my mishigas, and you have your mishigas. which is different but similar. We all have our mishigas, and we're saying, like, if I go deep enough into the mystery of the depths within me, there is a power that saves me from the mishigash, which is the patterns that really live on the surface of my life.
Yeah.
They're not, they're not inborn essential places inside me that I need to release. They're actually these patterns that have accumulated over time, habits. And so we say, "Save me, God." And so you know how the High Holy Day Machzor is like this thick, and then you spend all of those hours saying so many words. I thought, oh, we could just say these four words. For me, that would do it,
Mm-hmm.
And then come into the silence and listen for the answer, really. So let's do that calling forth. There's a hidden, and just knowing there is this hidden power, this hidden radiance inside us that actually is the answer to a lot of the tangles that we get into. So we want to call it forth. Kumah Adonai Hoshiyeyni Elohai Kumah Adonai Hoshiyeyni Elohai Kumah Adonai Hoshiyeyni Elohai Kumah Adonai Hoshiyeyni Elohai Kumah Adonai Hoshiyeyni Elohai. Rise up. Kumah Adonai Hoshiyeyni Elohai Kumah Adonai Hoshiyeyni Elohai Kumah Adonai Hoshiyeyni Elohai Kumah Adonai Hoshiyeyni Elohai Kumah Adonai Hoshiyeyni
Hoshiyeyni Elohai Kumah Adonai 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 Hoshiyeyni Elohai Kumah
As you close your eyes and focus on the breath, you breathe into those deepest places within, and exhale from those deepest places, allowing whatever's in you to rise up. And those mysteries of the depths, let those mysteries meet those, what we called up in the last practice, those places of disconnection. Let what is in you, that place of vachutz, which is the glue, the deep mysteries within you, meet the place of the tangle and let it untangle, to dissolve those obstacles, those places of disconnection. So with each breath, going a little deeper into the mystery and breathing out from the mystery of those depths, letting it rise. And feeling this radiance rising, shining. So we'll do one more practice for this Elul practice that we're doing, and I just want to bring you one teaching from Joseph Campbell that says this experience of mystery, this place that we just touched, this mystery comes not from expecting it, but through yielding all your programs. So your programs, meaning like your conditionings, really, because your programs are based on fear and desire. Drop them and radiance comes. So it's a kind of a subtraction rather than, we're not adding anything to ourselves. We are already whole. But what we are sort of peeling away are our programs, our conditionings, our the limited, structures of who we are. I think I said last week, I said that the whole effort of spiritual process is to break the boundaries you have drawn for yourself and experience the immensity that you are. Experience your own light. So this last practice comes from Psalm 27, which is traditionally recited, chanted during this month of Elul. And it kind of gives us this great direction of turning. It says Kavay el Yah. So it's just take this line of hopefulness that is in you, Kavay el Yah, and turn it towards the mystery, towards God. And then it says, be strong. Or really, the strength in you just emerges when those other things fall away. Be strong and be filled with courage, and to let your heart be filled up with that light, that inspiration. And I also just want to take a moment just to look around the KZOOM room and be inspired by the faces, by the radiance here. And those who don't have faces, we're going to imagine your faces. And to sort of say, like, you. I used to have a practice, and I can't remember it now. It was called "You Light My Fire." Do you remember that? In the old KZOOMs, "You light my fire."
One of our chants.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So we want to be able to have that fire lit through the group, and I look forward to being on retreat together when the sound of each other's voices and the harmonies that we make together also can light our fires and bring us this strength and courage. Those who are shruting, it's a C and an F and a C on this one. So let's see if we can call up that energy within us that happens when we drop the programs, when we drop the fear and the desire, and just like come into the pure place of being our radiant selves. Kavay el Yah, Kavay el Yah, Chazak libecha,
Chazak v'ya'ametz, Chazak v'ya'ametz, Chazak v'ya'ametz libecha. Kavay el Yah, Kavay el Yah, Chazak v'ya'ametz libecha. Chazak v'ya'ametz, Chazak v'ya'ametz, Chazak v'ya'ametz libecha. Kavay el Yah, Kavay el Yah, Chazak v'ya'ametz libecha. Chazak v'ya'ametz,
Chazak,
Chazak v'ya'ametz,
Chazak,
Chazak v'ya'ametz libecha. Kavay el Yah, Kavay el Yah, Chazak v'ya'ametz libecha. Chazak v'ya'ametz,
Chazak,
Chazak v'ya'ametz, Chazak v'ya'ametz libecha. Kavay el Yah, Kavay el Yah, Chazak v'ya'ametz libecha. Chazak v'ya'ametz,
Chazak,
Chazak v'ya'ametz,
Chazak,
Chazak v'ya'ametz libecha. Kavay el Yah, Chazak v'ya'ametz libecha. Chazak v'ya'ametz, Chazak v'ya'ametz, Chazak v'ya'ametz libecha. Kavay el Yah, Chazak v'ya'ametz libecha. Chazak v'ya'ametz, Chazak v'ya'ametz, Chazak v'ya'ametz libecha. Kavay el Yah, Chazak v'ya'ametz libecha. Chazak v'ya'ametz, Chazak v'ya'ametz, Chazak v'ya'ametz libecha. Chazak v'ya'ametz, Chazak v'ya'ametz, Chazak v'ya'ametz libecha. Kavay el Yah, Kavay v'ya'ametz,
Chazak,
Chazak v'ya'ametz,
Chazak,
Chazak v'ya'ametz libecha. Kavay el Yah, Kavay el Yah, Chazak v'ya'ametz libecha. Kavay el Yah, Chazak v'ya'ametz, Chazak v'ya'ametz, Chazak v'ya'ametz libecha.
Let's try it softly.
Chazak v'ya'ametz libecha. Chazak v'ya'ametz, Chazak v'ya'ametz, Chazak v'ya'ametz libecha.
Full voice.
Kavay el Yah, Kavay el Yah, Chazak v'ya'ametz libecha. Kavay el Yah, Chazak v'ya'ametz, Chazak v'ya'ametz, Chazak v'ya'ametz libecha.
So breathe into the heart. Let yourself be filled with courage, with strength, with the sense of turning towards the mystery. And then shine. You just gotta shine. So let's take a look again around the KZOOM room and shine.
Yeah, everybody's shining.
Everybody's shining. And oh, so these beautiful faces.
Mm-hmm.
Shining